Chapter 1, Americans, Citizenship, and Governments. Chapter 1.1, Being an American. Please write down the first two bullets on this slide. The United States sometimes is called a nation of immigrants. Immigrants are people who move permanently to a new country. About 98% of all of the people now living in the United States are descended from families who once lived in another country. Native Americans were the first inhabitants. They came from Asia. In the 1500s and the 1600s, the Spanish, French, Dutch, and English arrived in North America. In the 1600s and 1700s, the Germans, the Swedish, Irish, and Scottish immigrants came to North America. More than 500,000 Africans were forced into slavery in the United States as well. Between 1860 and 1890, more than 10 million Europeans entered the country. A lot of them came from Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Between 1890 and 1924, more than 22 million immigrants came from Italy, Greece, Poland, and Russia. The later 1900s saw immigrants from Asia, Latin America, and Africa come to the United States. The U.S. population is very diverse with many ethnic groups. Members of an ethnic group share a common national, cultural, and racial background. Here are two charts that further break down the immigration and racial makeup of American citizens. This chart breaks down the country of origin of immigrants to the United States from 1880 until 1920. On this slide, I have two immigration stations with links to explain a little history of both. The first one is Ellis Island, and the second is Angel Island. Please write down the bullets that begin with the word values, American values, and popular sovereignty. Values are the general principles or beliefs you use to make judgments. American values are numerous, but here are a few. Freedom, equality, opportunity, justice, democracy, unity, and tolerance. Our religious, social, political, and educational institutions help us develop a shared sense of being Americans. Our government reflects these values as well. Popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty is the idea that the government receives its power from the people. We will further break down that concept in future chapters. The people choose the nation's leaders, and the leaders must face the people to stay in office. Chapter 1.2, Becoming a Citizen. Please write down the bullet civics and its definition. Please write down the bullet citizens and the explanation next to it. Please write down the last two bullets highlighted on this slide. Civics is the study of the duties and rights of citizens. Citizens are members of a community who owe loyalty to a government and, in turn, are entitled to the protection of that government. The concept or ideology of citizenship dates back 2,500 years to the ancient Greeks and Romans. In the United States, citizenship is not based on wealth, gender, race, or religion. A person can become an American citizen in two ways. They can become a citizen by birth or by going through the naturalization process. Please write down all of the information on this slide. The first group of people we will talk about are natural-born citizens. Any person born in any of the 50 states or in the District of Columbia automatically becomes an American citizen at birth. A person born in an American territory, such as Puerto Rico, the U.S. military base, Guam, is also an American citizen. A person born in another country can claim American citizenship if one or both parents are U.S. citizens. The USCIS is the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. It is responsible for leading our immigration process. The USCIS is a part of the executive branch of government. Here is a map of the United States and our territories. This slide supports the previous slide, and in particular, the area where we said people born on American soil automatically becomes American citizens. Please write down all of the information on this slide. Naturalized citizens. Naturalization is the legal process to obtain citizenship. Immigrants who want to become a U.S. citizen must meet certain requirements. They must be age 18. They must have been a lawful permanent resident for 5 years. They must be able to read, write, and speak English. They must be of good moral character. They must show an understanding of U.S. civics. Please write down all of the information on this slide. Naturalized citizens. The first step in the process is to complete an application and send it to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. The next step is to meet with a USCIS official for an interview. If this interview is successful, the next step, you will need to take a citizenship exam and pass it. If this step is successful, the final step, the individual needs to attend a ceremony in which they take an oath of allegiance to the United States. This is basically a simplified overview of the naturalization process. There are many additional steps that we did not outline, but this is a good overview of what that process looks like. After taking this oath and signing a document, they are citizens. If they have children under 18, the children automatically become citizens too. This is a picture of people taking an oath of allegiance to the United States in the naturalization process. Please write down the 3 ways people can lose their citizenship. Losing citizenship. First, we have expatriation. A person gives his or her allegiance to another country. Second, denaturalization. It's when naturalized citizens are found to have lied on their citizenship application. They are denaturalized. Third, being convicted of certain crimes. Crimes like treason, taking part in a rebellion, or trying to overthrow the government by violent means may lead to one losing their citizenship. Only the federal government can grant citizenship or take it away. States can, however, deny or take away some privileges of citizenship. Please write down the following. Please write down the word aliens and the definition next to it. Please write down legal aliens, resident and non-resident. And then please write down legal aliens and the things they can do, like hold jobs and own property, and then the things they cannot do, like hold public offices and serve on juries. Aliens. Aliens are foreign-born residents who have not been naturalized. There are 2 types of legal aliens that we will cover. The first one is resident. A resident alien is a person who is a legal immigrant in the United States and they live here permanently. A non-resident alien is a person who expects to stay in the U.S. for a short period of time and then return to their home country. Legal aliens, like citizens, may hold jobs, own property, attend public schools, and receive other government services. They are literally just like regular American citizens, with a few exceptions. They also pay taxes like regular citizens. Some of the things they can't do: they cannot vote in our elections, they cannot hold public offices, they cannot serve on juries, and they cannot hold certain government jobs. In addition to those things, aliens must carry an ID with them at all times. Illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are people who live in the United States without permission. Please write down the word refugee and the explanation next to it. Please write down the bullet that starts with the word currently and that sentence that is highlighted. Please write down the word quotas and its definition next to it. The U.S. accepts some people as refugees. A refugee is a person fleeing his or her country to escape danger. Currently, the U.S. limits the number of immigrants who can enter the country each year to about 1 million people. Quotas are restrictions on the number of immigrants who can enter our country each year. Each year, about 1 million aliens enter or remain in the nation illegally. Some were refused permission to immigrate and came anyway. Some just crossed the borders with Canada and Mexico illegally. They can be arrested and deported back to their home countries. Today, close to 12 million people are living in the United States illegally. For them, life is hard. It is hard to get jobs. It's tough to find places to live. And then they are constantly living in fear of being caught by our government. Chapter 1.3, Duties and Responsibilities of American Citizens. Please write down the word government and the explanation definition next to it. Please write down the word responsibilities and the information next to it and under it. Please write down the word duties and its explanation as well. We all play a part in making our community safe and successful. Government. Government is the ruling authority for a community. Responsibilities. Responsibilities are things we should do. They are obligations that we should meet on our own free will. Duties are actions that we are required to perform. National, state, and local governments require American citizens to perform certain duties. These duties are set by laws, and if we fail to perform them, we are subject to the penalties under the law. This chart lists some duties and responsibilities that we are going to dig a little bit deeper into. Please write all of the information listed on this slide. First, we're going to talk about duties. These are things that are required by law. First, American citizens are expected to obey the laws. A citizen's most important duty is to obey the law. Second, pay taxes. Taxes provide most of the money government needs to keep running. Third, defend the nation. The law requires most male citizens aged 18 to 25 to register with the Selective Service System. Fourth, serve in court. Every adult citizen must be prepared to serve on a jury. And then finally, number 5, attend school. Most states have laws that require children to attend school between the ages of 7 and 16. Please write down all of the information on responsibilities for this slide. There are 4 responsibilities that we will cover. Unlike duties, responsibilities are things we should do, but we are not required by law to do. They are, first, be informed and vote. Second, participate in your community and government. Third, respect the rights and property of others. Fourth, respect different opinions and ways of life. Tolerance. Respecting and accepting others regardless of differences. Voluntarism is the practice of offering your time and services to others without receiving payment.